Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today is one of those days where, it's just dragging ass. I don't feel like training. But you know what? I came in and, I hit my daily minimums on all my upper body lifts, okay? That's all I was capable of doing. But I also was scheduled to make a 5-pound jump on my daily minimum on my squat. So I did. I felt it. It's one of those to where I'm glad I didn't make faster jumps because it was really, relatively heavy. Not heavy in how it felt on my back, not heavy on the bar speed. It was heavy in how my quads were throbbing afterwards. In other words, they're like, okay, that's about all we feel like handling right now. Why are you doing this to us? How many days are we going to go without a day off from squatting? And the answer to that, I don't know. I don't think I've had a day off from squatting in a couple weeks, and I don't plan on it. I plan on just going all the way through and just squatting every day. I agree with John Bros on that because I found what he said to ultimately be true, that eventually you just adapt to it. And if the fact you get under and hit your daily minimums, or you can't even hit that, that's fine. At least you got under a barbell and did the squat. And even if you're fatigued, your body doesn't always know that. Meaning an RPE 9 lift is an RPE 9 lift. That's the reason higher rep training works at all for building muscle and everything else, is because you create fatigue and then the final reps get hard and they feel like a max. That's the point. That's part of the reason that system works for training. Something they don't talk about when they talk about the research, when they talk about volume equals muscle growth. It's like, well, yeah, because intensity happens on the final reps when you do volume. You can get a similar effect with heavy lifting. Now there's some data coming out now showing that, heavier lifting does hit certain muscle type fibers more than the higher rep. But at a certain point, you got to go, look, if I'm going to stimulate hypertrophy, I might as well stimulate hypertrophy in the muscles that are going to get the job done anyways. It's not like get that much extra performance or stamina from other muscle fibers hypertrophying massive amounts. And you need to remember those muscle fibers still get used on a max. People forget that. They somehow think that you're going to only induce hypertrophy in certain fibers with a certain type of training, but that's not necessarily true with weight training. It just is what it is, though. But here we go, my squat. And I feel like maybe I need to do a breakdown of frame by frame, because I analyze this frame by frame. And a lot of people will say things like, oh man, you've got, excessive forward lean. Yeah, that's my head and upper torso position. That's where I'm positioning it already. If you guys notice, my lumbar and thoracic region doesn't go below 45 degrees. So it's absolutely not a Lane Norton squat. It's because I am looking down slightly with a neutral neck. And because I have some slight rounding of the upper back and neck, that's just my natural posture. I find that position creates a really, really stable shelf for me. It's like I can just get that bar in tight. And to me, a heavy weight feels light once I create that tight shelf up there. And that's really what you're looking for. But that's just working with the natural curvature of my back. It's fine. I've done in the past 600 pounds when younger with that same sort of technique. It's fine. I'm going to get there again. We'll get to 600 again. And then everyone will be like, well, we're just going to leave it alone. You're obviously not getting hurt. Because I don't feel any strain in my lower back when I squat. Like there's none. I don't feel strain in my back on a squat. It doesn't. I feel it in my quads. I feel it in my IT bands. That's where I feel strain. Like as far as any sort of soreness or fatigue or anything else, that's where I feel all of it from squatting. So not a problem. Bench press, it just felt heavy today. And I think what I need to do with my pressing, because I'm going to rotate in trap bar deadlifts, right? We're going to rotate in trap bar deadlifts. Next week, once I get the trap bar, I'm going to do those probably 3 days a week and only do the press 3 days a week. So what I need to do the rest of this week, I need to go ahead and just do both a flat bench and an overhead press every day for the rest of this week so that I get used to that. Because I think like my pressing is really feeling stagnant right now. And I've been at these same daily minimums for about 3 weeks. But what we need to remember is that we're not going to see rapid increases in pressing strength week to week. Okay, it's just not going to happen. I may not even be able to put new weight on the bar every month on my minimums. And you know what? That's okay. I don't have to. I mean, my God, if I put 5 pounds on my minimums every month, I would be ridiculously strong within a year. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. We're not trying to get to a 400 bench this year. Uh, so I've got to keep that in perspective. You know, it's one of those to where if I get to a 350 bench this year, I'll be happy. So we start looking at it from that perspective. That's not that often. I need to increase the daily minimums, right? It's not that often, and particularly with the overhead pressing. So I'm fine having a 205 as a daily minimum as long as I occasionally get a 315 or 215, a 225. It's all good. Chin-ups are killing me today. I stopped at my daily minimum. I did daily minimums on all of this stuff. That's what I decided to do because that's what I'm capable of doing today. Again, I'm trying to make sure I do at least 4 lifts most days now, and that's going to be what I settle into in addition to whatever little technique stuff and grip work I do later. That's what I'm going to do. And if I need to on the upper body stuff, I have exercise variations. I have dipping bars that I've ordered. They're going to be here hopefully by the end of the week. So if I need to swap out a flat bench day or 2 every week with weighted dips to get a novel training stimulus, if I plateau too long, I'll do that, and that'll probably increase my bench. That's the beauty of it. But for now, I need to get the extra pressing volume in. And I think that's part of why I'm stagnating. I'm doing more total training maxes with pressing in general per week than I had been. I was only doing every other day, meaning 3 bench days, 3 overhead press days, right? That's what we were doing. And now I'm doing 6 bench days and 3 overhead press days. That's more. My body is like, whoa, what are you doing? So all my pressing muscles are staying fatigued 24/7. They're never really recovering. And that's okay. That's okay. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. The other thing, you know, I still get people commenting about, oh, why is your body fat so high? It's like, guys, I'm not that worried about it. You're not going to embarrass me with that. I'm standing here on camera every day. It is what it is. But what you need to remember, I did a 30-pound cut last year. I'm still nowhere near as fat as I was, even in my face and everything. I'm not even remotely as fat as I was last year, right? I did a 30-pound cut pretty successfully. And even though there's been a small amount of weight regain because I'm not in a calorie deficit anymore, I'm up, 8 pounds? I finished that cut 6 months ago. Now, I'm eating as much food as I'm comfortable eating right now. Like, it's not a problem. So what's going to happen when my work capacity goes up? I'm stronger now than I was back then. I was stronger now than when I was the start and the end of that cut. So as I keep building my strength base, my caloric burn is going to go up. I'm going to gain muscle. I'm going to gain strength. As that goes up, I'll start leaning out. And then when I start incorporating my GPP work, which will happen, that should push a better recompositioning effect. I'll start losing body fat because, again, high intensity cardio burns body fat. What? Yeah, that's a novel concept. Shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. At least I'm not gaining weight right now. I've been gaining strength and I'm not gaining weight. I'm PRing. Strength is going up. We're all on schedule with it. So I'm not worried about it. And people need to remember that when you're advanced lifters and stuff, you think you're going to cut 15 pounds of body fat while putting 50 pounds on your squat. You think that's going to happen when you're not on a ton of trend. You guys are going to be in for a dose of reality later. And that's the other thing that people need to think about. When you have goals, you need to have these goals be sequential. If you guys think that you're going to walk around peeled year round and keep making gains, you, my friend, are not living in the real world. That's just not reality. So it is what it is. I'll get there when I get there. But in the meantime, the strength gains are on point. They're coming along nicely. I'm happy with my progress. Now, it doesn't mean I'm happy to where I want to be. But you know what? This is how you improve. You come in and you do the work day after day after day after day. Consistently getting under the barbell, lifting what you are capable of lifting, and you just keep moving forward day after day. Now, I've had a good week with this, and my sleep has not been on point this week. I've had a few interruptions with sleep, and yet I'm still trucking along. I'm still making progress. So, you know, again, hopefully next week, my sleep schedule gets sorted out a little bit better, get it back on point, get back to where I'm getting that 9 to 10 hours a day. And those gains are just going to keep coming. And then once we build enough muscle and work capacity, cutting body fat will be easy. I'm not that worried about it. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I don't need to cut another 30 pounds. I think if I do a 20-pound cut next time, I think we'll be good to go. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.